So going on to the next topic, this is big. You know what I mean? This has been all over summer. None of the top Europe teams want Ronaldo. Can any of you guys explain to me why? You know what I'm saying? Why don't they want him? And Man United currently right now are killing it in the friendlies. Them going for top 4, is that an achievement or is that expected? Either one of you can go for this.
Should I go first? Let me go first.
Yeah, you go first, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I just think very few teams are looking to play number 9s anymore. You know what I mean? So I think that straight out number 9s. I think that affects the move. Obviously, he stays, was he 37?
37.
Yeah, that affects the move. His wages.
500 grand a week.
I mean, his ego, that affects the move. I don't even think it's for like footballing reasons. I think it's for like everything else. Yeah, because I think if there's a footballing reason, you'd gamble on a player like that 100%. You sign him 1 or 2 years and see what can happen. But I think it's everything else that comes with the player. You know, I mean, the circus, you know, is he happy with the manager? That you're just hearing all sorts of stories all throughout the season. You know, every time you bench him, it's a story. You know, if he doesn't score and he's looking at his teammates, it's a story. You know, you sign. So it's just a whole circus that comes with him. Is not just from a football sense, and even just from a football sense. Like I said, nobody really plays with, or they weren't. The funny thing is now Man City have gone back to like a number 9, and Liverpool have gone back to number 9, but they weren't playing with those recently. Bayern have stepped away from like the number 9 thing. I think I saw an interview with Nagelsmann. They were talking about how like now that Lewandowski is not there, that he can actually expand the way they play. They can play differently, and it's harder to mark. So he clearly wants to move away from that traditional number 9 system or whatever. So it just limits you where you can go. You can't go back to Spain because, you know, Real Madrid got Benzema. Barca just got Lewandowski. So it's like, where do you go? You go back to Italy? Where are you going back to? I mean, AC Milan, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, Napoli, I've heard a lot of links to. That's possible as well. The crazy one I've heard is Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, I heard Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be interested, which would be a crazy move. Yeah, people think about running and pressing. I was gonna, and they say you can't run and press. I was gonna play in a Simeone team if you can't run and press.
So what?
So yes, I don't know. It's surprising, and at the same time, it's not surprising because it's like there are very few teams that I thought could sign him anyway, and that was like Chelsea and PSG. It doesn't seem that they're interested at this point. Could change going forward.
So what do you think about this, Joe?
Pretty much nail on the head. He is a circus, and he built himself up that way. All last season, obviously, if he didn't get his goals, Man United would have been terrible. They wouldn't have finished where they finished. I think it puts unfair pressure on teammates. If you've got a certain system you want to play, and you're bringing Ronaldo in, you have to change it to adapt him. He is, one of the biggest world football stars ever, and he knows it. Everyone knows it. Like, I think Man United crumbled under pressure. I think some managers think, do we want that? Do we want him to come in the way he runs the club? Like, he almost takes over. It's like a power struggle. There's a lot of youth prospects in a lot of the top teams, and he can get under this. People are like, oh, that'd be really good for him to be like a mentor to them. Well, it also could put him under immense pressure, because look how he treats his teammates who are experienced internationals already. It's like they're the worst players on the pitch, like ever. They'll miss a free kick by an inch, and he'll complain like it's the worst thing he's ever done. But I think his wages, I think his other demands in his contracts, I think he's run his course, and I don't think he knows it, but everyone else does. Yeah. And I think, if he dropped his wages right down, I think people would take a punt on him.
100%.
But I don't think it would work like in the system, like exactly like Van said, 9s, they only work in a certain way, but you have to adapt the whole team to it. And, I don't think he works. If you watch him last season, I think he was coming right back to win the ball, and then there was not like the wingers doing the same thing, thinking it's the right thing because that's what Ronaldo's doing, and then there's no play. And I think he's run his course personally, and I don't think he knows it because he's physical. He's in physical top shape, isn't he? He's probably the best athlete in world football, but they have to adapt. And some teams do not want to do that, do they? You can see it. But I think he'll get a move. I don't think he'll be at Man United end of the window. but I couldn't tell you where. I couldn't tell you where. It's such an up in the air one. I saw that Saudi one that they wanted to take, and he said no to that because he wants to push himself at a high level. I just don't know if a top team's going to come in for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
The only one I could say is a punt on Bayern. Obviously, they got no.
Well, they came out. They came out and said no. They came out. Oliver Kahn said they're not interested.
All that is negotiation, man. You get me?
No, they came
lower
out.
Your price.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, listen, no. lower your price another $100,000. No.
They came out and they said
wasn't that before Lewandowski moved though?
No. So they came out and said that Harry Kane was the guy that they wanted.
I saw that.
Yeah. Harry Kane is the type. But I agree with you. Yeah, obviously, if they become desperate, they'll go for him. I think the problem with Ronaldo is, like you said, it's everything outside of football. Even Juve, Cellini came out and said when he left last year, the whole circus of him wanting to leave, and he should have just left earlier, and it affected us. You know, like nobody wants that. People want their team to be the focus of just football, therefore, not about just one player on the team. So yeah, I do agree that Ronaldo is probably another guy that has made himself difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
what happens when you're difficult to work with, but yet you don't have the dividends, you know what I mean, the goals and the performances to back it up, then people will just they don't see you as worth it. So yeah. Let's quickly go on.
If I'm PSG, I might, you know, I might be like, listen.
What non-workhorses with non-workhorses?
They don't have.
That would be horrible.
They don't have a number 9. Yeah,
but he's not a workhorse. Non-workhorses with non-workhorses.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, he works harder than all of them. He works harder.
They'll still be the laziest team. That'll be the laziest big team that we've seen. But
that's the funny thing. He works harder than their front three.
Yeah, he probably does.
Yeah,
the funny thing is, Mbappe used to be a workhorse back at Monaco, but
he's got it to his head, didn't he?
Yeah,
the power.
He used to be a workforce.